Our tale begins with a slave trader, just another day at the office, so he thought. Then, a shadowy couple appeared, not your typical window shoppers. Plot twist, they weren't looking to buy but to sell their own baby. Even a slave trader has standards. He flat out refused, questioning if they were even parents. Just then, a bejeweled hand reached out. Another customer wanted the infant. This new buyer was a nobleman, a connoisseur of talent for his grand arena. The baby changed hands, the couple disappeared, and the nobleman readied his carriage. The trader mused on the sheer audacity. A newborn destined for the arena? Unthinkable. Cut to the nobleman's perspective. His singular obsession is finding the ultimate champion. For him, it's simple. Stronger fighters mean bigger crowds and overflowing coffers. The nobleman scoffs. Most slaves are just too weak for his grand designs. But then, he appeared, a warrior of unmistakable general-level caliber. The sheer presence of this warrior sent shivers down the nobleman's spine. Pure power. His eyes gleamed with a singular thought. This was the true warrior he craved. Yet the unthinkable, this titan of a man was selling his own child? The nobleman's mind reeled, struggling to comprehend this bizarre turn of events. No hesitation. He bought the infant and cast it into the unforgiving arena. His champion received a new, tiny charge with promises of grand rewards for success. The champion, now a reluctant guardian, grimly predicted the infant wouldn't last a week. Indeed, this grim, unforgiving pit was no place for a newborn's survival. Against all odds, amidst the grim remnants of the pit, the child clung to life. More than just surviving, he devoured every scrap, fueled by an insatiable will to move. The champion, witnessing this tenacity, felt an unfamiliar stirring, a genuine desire to nurture this extraordinary infant. Astoundingly, teach him one lesson, and the child would grasp two, a prodigy in the making. Left to his own devices, the little warrior would independently discover new skills, his curiosity boundless. Relentlessly, the child grew, forged in the crucible of the arena, until he could carve his own path. His guardian, the champion, found the boy's thoughts becoming an enigma, a mind he could no longer fathom. Yet the boy's first true arena battle would reveal everything, the champion watching with bated breath. Stepping into the ring, the youth unleashed an overwhelming presence, pure, unadulterated combat instinct. The champion stared, utterly transfixed. This was the most flawless display of fighting prowess he'd ever witnessed. The champion's eye widened. This boy's skill wasn't taught, it was innate, something terrifyingly primal. He didn't just fight, he became the arena, a maelstrom of pure, unadulterated combat. Standing amidst the fallen, the champion pondered if this youth was even human from the start. More seasons turned, and the champion himself faced a brutal, desperate struggle in the ring. His strength finally waned. The old warrior met his fated end, a new challenger victorious. But as the victor gloated, a blur of motion, the boy, now a young man, charged into the fray. Through fading vision, the champion witnessed the true nature of the child he'd nurtured. No boy, but a terrifying force of nature, a shadow of vengeance with eyes ablaze. The arena floor now held three figures, the fallen champion, his vanquisher, and the boy standing over both. Thus the tale of a child twice abandoned, now alone with the one who raised him, silent in the dust. Nevertheless, the child, now a man, endured, forged into adulthood within the arena's harsh embrace. Destiny beckoned. An event loomed that would finally draw him beyond the familiar bloodstained sands. A shifty senior led him to a den of wagers, chips flying, fortunes hanging in the balance. "Senior, this place is—" our hero questioned, as his guide urged him onward with a sly grin. His eyes narrowed. This wasn't just any arena, but an illegal gambling den, risking serious trouble. The senior scoffed. "Rigid bookworm, this is where noblemen legally pit their fighters, a proper competition." "Such a coward! Hurry up!" the senior prodded, eager to get his companion into the thick of it. His boots echoed on the stone, each step heavy with reluctance to enter this shady establishment. "No," he declared, "I came to university for knowledge, not to compromise my principles here." With resolve, he stated, "I'm returning to school, my tuition is due today." The senior dangled a familiar-looking pouch. "What, this?" he smirked, coins clinking within. Our hero's eyes flared wide, a sudden chilling realization dawning upon him. He recoiled in disbelief, the senior's audacity sending him reeling. "Hold on, when did you even grab my tuition money?" he roared, spotting it on the gambling table. "Relax, kid," the senior waved dismissively. "Once the bet's down, it's game on." "See, I even threw in my own tuition," the senior declared, pointing to two hefty bags among the chips. With a sly grin, the senior added, "Now we just have to watch our fortunes unfold, don't we? Our hero seethed inwardly, lamenting how this reckless senior had dragged his hard-earned university dreams into a gambling den. Memories of his father's pride surfaced, a man who taught him integrity, not barbarism. His adoring sister's voice echoed, "Big brother is the best," a stark contrast to his current predicament. He remembered his mother's sacrifices, her words of apology and gratitude echoing in his mind. Desperately, he prayed for his tuition's safety, vowing this recklessness would be his last. A steely glint in his eye, he swore to sever ties with that deceitful senior for good. Meanwhile, the senior, ever so nonchalant, gave a thumbs up, ready for the fun to begin. Their destination, a grim arena, bristling with sharpened stakes under flickering torchlight. This pit, open to the sky, was clearly designed for brutal, unforgiving contests. The senior, oblivious to his friend's turmoil, offered a casual cheer up as they watched. An announcer stepped forward, grandly presenting the first combatant from the harsh northern lands. Once a plunderer, now a slave, this warrior was given a new chance at glory by his master. Behold! The Deathbringer, a newcomer ready to make his brutal debut with a spiked cudgel. The crowd roared, their bloodlust ignited by the Deathbringer's fearsome introduction. "Wow, he looks so damn fierce," the senior remarked, clearly enjoying the spectacle. Our hero, however, found it even more horrific than anticipated, his stomach churning. The grim evidence of past battles marked on the arena's unforgiving stakes told a brutal story. The very air reeked of previous contests, a grim reminder of the den's true purpose. "I feel like throwing up," our hero muttered. "Why are we watching this?" With a nod in his gut, he asked, "So, did we bet on that Deathbringer?" "No, he's coming now," the senior replied coolly. "We bet on Happy Face." "Happy Face? That doesn't sound strong at all." Our hero fretted, but the senior simply said, "You'll see." "And next," boomed the announcer, ready to introduce the next challenger to the pit. Our hero ponders, "Happy Face? Is that some kind of twisted joke, or does he have a monstrous grin?" The announcer with a flourish confirms the crowd's anticipation. The audience erupts, a sea of faces chanting "Happy, happy" with unnerving glee. Our hero finds the whole scene bizarre, the crowd's fervor completely baffling. His eyes widen, trying to make sense of the spectacle unfolding before him. And there he is, Happy Face, a young lad with a genuinely beaming, innocent smile. Our hero is utterly floored, a cascade of question marks popping into existence above his head. William, as he's called, is momentarily stunned into silence by this unexpected reveal. Through the bars, he sees the imposing Deathbringer already in the arena, awaiting this Happy Face. Adding to the absurdity, Happy Face stands there completely unarmed, with no gear whatsoever. Happy Face stands barefoot on the sand, his simple wrappings a stark contrast to the arena's brutality. His skin is unblemished, his face cherubic, crowned with a mop of innocent curls. That bright, unwavering smile seems utterly clueless, a bizarre sight in this grim pit. "Hold on!" William cries. "This kid can't fight! It's obvious to anyone!" He rages. Is he unwell, unfocused, unarmed? Are they sending him to his doom? The senior and his crony just exchange blank stares, completely unfazed by William's panic. William glares at the cheering crowd. "What's so amusing, you lunatics?" Even the Deathbringer ponders, is this a joke, a test, or just a bizarre opening act? But the hulking warrior quickly dismisses the thought, his expression hardening. "Doesn't matter," the Deathbringer growls, gripping his cudgel. "I plan to crush everyone here anyway." The Deathbringer unleashes a mighty swing, his spiked cudgel a blur of motion. Happy Face looks up, seemingly defenseless as the brutal weapon descends upon him. William winces, unable to watch as a sickening thud echoes, sending someone flying towards the deadly stakes. Peeking through his fingers, William's face contorts in sheer horror at the scene. "It's over," the arena seems to declare, as Happy Face lies motionless on the sand. William's eyes dart wide, a flicker of disbelief. Could this really be the end? But wait. Happy Face stirs, slowly, painfully pushing himself up from the ground. "Nope, don't stand up," William pleads silently. "You'll really meet your end." His terror mounts as he watches the boy struggle. "Run away! No! Ask for a weapon at least," William screams. "What kind of miserable end is this?" William shouts, "Stop!" His fist clenched as Happy Face stumbles dangerously close to the stakes. Overwhelmed, he turns away, muttering, "I don't want to watch anymore." He buries his face against the railing, the grim reality too much to bear. A memory surfaces. A younger William, a hand gently on his head, as a voice explains, "This is how people without parents live, William." The flashback shows young William peering down at less fortunate children confined below. "But father, that's too unfair," young William protests. "That child should have a chance too." His father's hands grip his shoulders as he explains, They are slaves by birth. Life is somewhat predetermined from the beginning. His father then turns his head, saying, "So what you should be looking at is not that pigsty, but that grand and beautiful kingdom." "That is our path, William," his father declares, forcing the boy to confront a harsh societal truth. Young William clutches his book tightly, the weight of his father's words sinking in. William's knuckles are white on the rail, his father's harsh words burning in his memory. He looks up, despair replaced by a steely glint of defiance in his eyes. Down in the pit, Happy Face is still dangerously close to the stakes, Deathbringer looming. "You good?" The senior smirks. "Getting all worked up over a bit of cash?" Deathbringer doesn't wait, swinging his massive weapon down on the boy again. "Don't take it personally, kid," the brute sneers at his seemingly defeated opponent. The hit lands hard, sending Happy Face sprawling once more onto the arena sand. Deathbringer's eyes are pure predator, cold and fixed on his target. "No!" William yells, his voice cracking, but no one in the frenzied crowd cares. Then a lightning-fast moment. William's eyes lock with Happy's, a desperate plea flashing between them. And incredibly, Happy Face, inches from disaster, is still smiling, a truly bizarre sight. William watches, his mind struggling to comprehend this boy's unwavering grin. Deathbringer, furious, unleashes another devastating blow, expecting an easy finish. But Happy Face moves like lightning, rolling under the attack with impossible agility. Then, in a stunning reversal, Happy Face launches a powerful kick straight to the brute's head. The giant stumbles, a look of utter shock replacing his murderous rage. William can only stare, exclamation points of disbelief practically exploding around him. Happy Face lands lightly, a knowing, almost mischievous glint in his eyes, an odd halo above. The entire arena falls silent, the crowd's frenzied cheers choked by sheer astonishment. The scene freezes. The small boy has just sent the colossal Deathbringer reeling. William recalls the raw thrill of victory, a blue hue washing over his intense gaze. He remembers the roar of the crowd, their cheers echoing in his mind. And once more Happy Face, with a wild grin, leaps into the fray, undeterred. Repeat. Happy Face connects with another stunning blow, sending the Deathbringer reeling. William grips the railing tighter, his eyes wide with a mix of shock and dawning realization. Happy Face unleashes a barrage of strikes, a whirlwind of motion against the stunned giant. William's jaw clenches, his gaze fixed, absorbing every impossible moment of this beatdown. A single word echoes in William's mind as he watches: domination. He dominates! Happy Face delivers a final decisive sequence, overwhelming the brute. The Deathbringer lies defeated, Happy Face standing over him, the arena still silent. The mighty Deathbringer collapses, utterly defeated on the arena floor. Happy Face wins, the announcement booms as the boy flashes his signature, slightly bruised, victorious grin. William stares dumbfounded as the crowd erupts, chanting Happy's name, his mind reeling. What is this? The senior smirks, approaching William. Congratulations, here's your winnings. As William eyes him, questioning, money? William clutches a meager pouch, his hopes for his tuition money instantly dashed. Ah, my money? He opens his palm, a single solitary copper coin glinting mockingly within. 1 copper coin? William's expression hardens, the paltry sum a bitter pill to swallow. Look at this, the senior drawls, holding up a betting slip with a knowing look. The slip reveals Happy's near-certain win rate. The senior explains, Happy's matches are basically free tips. Bet big, win small. Here your money is returned as it was, the senior chuckles, handing back William's original stake. That kid is running away, haha. The senior, ever the tempter, grins. So, fancy some more action? William pauses, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes after the betting fiasco. Subsequent matches unfolded exactly as William envisioned, a brutal spectacle. Each clash was a grim testament to the arena's cruel and barbaric nature. He couldn't stomach it, leaving in under 10 minutes while the senior casually asks, home? Returning to school, William immediately paid his tuition, a weight lifted. His life resumed its familiar rhythm, late-night studies in the quiet dormitory. Candlelight illuminates William deep in concentration, his quill dancing across the page. Shelves display his academic triumphs, awards, and meticulously arranged texts. Suddenly, William's grip tightens on his quill, his gaze sharp with a new resolve. William's hand trembles, the quill a weapon against his own indecision, a strange diagram on the page. His blue eyes, usually calm, now blaze with an unsettling new light. That lone copper coin rests nearby, a constant mocking reminder of the arena's lure. He snaps his advanced geometry textbook shut, the lesson for the night clearly over. With a puff, William extinguishes the candles, plunging his room, and perhaps his old life, into darkness. Outside, the night deepens, the dormitory windows reflecting an ordinary starry sky. Sleep eludes him. William lies awake, his mind a battlefield of conflicting thoughts. Suddenly, the serene night transforms, the window now a portal to a fiery, chaotic vision. His eyes snap wide, the crimson glow from outside painting his face with dread and fascination. Reflections of Happy Face's manic grin and brutal victories dance in William's now incandescent magenta eyes. A decision has been made. William jolts awake with a gasp, the morning light streaming in, a stark contrast to his fiery vision. He pants, sweat beading on his brow, the intensity of the night's decision still etched on his face as he mutters, "Morning?" A rooster's crow pierces the dawn, confirming a new day has begun, and with it a new path for William. Elsewhere, the familiar senior boasts to his cronies, offering a pub treat, completely oblivious to William's transformation. Suddenly, William appears, his shadow falling over the senior, whose bravado instantly vanishes into an "oh shit." The senior stammers, unnerved by William's cold demeanor and the unsettling glint in his eyes. William, with a chillingly calm intensity in those now familiar glowing eyes, proposes, "Perhaps, shall we go again today?" The scene shifts, another rooster heralding morning, but this time from a much grimmer stone-walled location. A battered face, undoubtedly Deathbringer, snaps awake with a start, eyes wide with lingering shock. His companion casually mentions he's been out since the arena, urging him to prep for the next match, the cycle unbroken. Deathbringer's eyes gleam with a fiery resolve, the sting of defeat fresh. His cellmate casually mentions, "that guy," as a flashback shows Happy Face training, a stark contrast to their grim surroundings. "Consider yourself lucky," the cellmate smirks. He adjusts his skill, keeps the show going without actually ending anyone. Deathbringer scoffs, bandages askew. "Ha! Adjusts? Don't make me laugh." "I just let my guard down," he growls. "One lucky kick. If I'd fought properly." His companion bursts out laughing. "Ha! You'd already be dead, pal." Deathbringer's eyes narrow into furious slits. "What did you say?" "You'd be stuffed in that corpse disposal bin over there," the cellmate gestures, utterly unfazed. Deathbringer's fist tightens, veins bulging, as his companion waves a dismissive hand. "Whoa, calm down, just telling you the truth." Suddenly, Happy Face appears, beaming. "Save the fighting for the arena, boys." The cellmate snaps to attention. "Yes, sir," as Happy Face's arrival completely shifts the power dynamic. Deathbringer seethes, watching his tough-talking companion instantly cower before the kid. A hush falls over the other prisoners. Clearly, Happy Face commands a different kind of respect here. "Him? The big shot?" Deathbringer scoffs, dismissing the milk-breathed punk despite the obvious fear. Delusional Deathbringer muses Happy's trembling is fear of him, still claiming that arena loss was pure luck. He surveys the downtrodden fighters, declaring them all weaklings in his grand assessment. "This is my world." Deathbringer grins maniacally, already plotting to dethrone Happy and rule the roost. "Hey, you little runt!" Deathbringer swaggers up, ready to assert his dominance over a bewildered Happy Face. He looms, interrogating Happy. "Slave market? War prisoner? Debt? How'd a kid like you get sold here?" "My father sold me here at birth." Happy beams, dropping a bombshell that leaves Deathbringer utterly stunned. Happy Face beams. "Indeed, the folks here raised me, taught me everything about fighting." Deathbringer scoffs. "Taught you? If they're stronger, why do they cower when you're around?" A slight misstatement," Happy Face admits, casually starting to remove his simple tunic. His hand grips the fabric, a sense of anticipation building as he pulls it away. Underneath, a physique etched with countless scars is revealed as he clarifies, "Those people? They've been gone a very long time." Deathbringer's eyes widen, a silent, "Huh?" hanging in the air as the chilling implication sinks in. "Now," Happy Face continues, his back to Deathbringer, "there's no one left to teach me or even offer a decent challenge, just new faces." He turns, lightly tapping Deathbringer's shoulder with a knowing smile. "Like you. So sizing up new arrivals is part of my job," Happy explains, pointing to a minor scratch. "I even let myself get hit, make it look close, keeps everyone entertained." A sliver of Deathbringer's eye reflects pure, dawning horror as the truth of Happy Face's performance hits him. Deathbringer flashes back to their arena clash, Happy Face effortlessly catching his spiked mace. He remembers that chilling grin, Happy Face holding back the weapon with unnerving ease. A tiny scratch, a playful wink, Happy Face barely broke a sweat. The memory of his own defeat plays back, Happy Face looking on almost bored. "You were toying with me?" The horrifying truth crashes down on Deathbringer. He grabs Happy Face's shoulder, his world crumbling with this devastating revelation. Happy Face beams. "No need for break time brawls. We'll all meet our end in the arena anyway." As Deathbringer processes this, Happy Face politely says, excuse me. Then, with a cheerful smile, Happy Face delivers a lightning-fast punch right to Deathbringer's jaw. Deathbringer is sent flying, instantly knocked out cold by the deceptively powerful kid. Deathbringer smashes into the stone wall, out for the count. His former cellmate smirks. Everyone's like that at first, totally unfazed by the display of power. Elsewhere, William examines an Arena Pass Iron Face Silver Grade, a new identity in his hand. He wonders aloud, Iron Face? Is that like a nickname? Clearly new to this whole arena business. A flashback shows that same senior palming off his duties. I'm going to the pub, you do my share. The senior hands over his pass and betting money, ordering William to place bets exactly as written. William sighs, clutching the pass and money. I just wanted to see Happy's match. Now I look like a regular gambler. He joins the queue outside the imposing arena, a sign reminding everyone, pass must be carried at all times. The scene shifts to a quiet, rural setting labeled Meanwhile at the Gravedigger's house. An old gravedigger calls out, Cigar, come with me. Let's go collect some corpses from the Lucastian Eye Arena. Cigar, the gravedigger's apprentice, dutifully replies, Yes, master, an anatomy book in hand. The pair, with their trusty donkey and cart, make their way towards the imposing Lucastian Eye Arena. Surveying a grim aftermath, the old gravedigger remarks, Looks like they had quite a big event yesterday, doubting their cart's capacity. Cigar confidently assures him, I'll stack them well, earning a chuckle and trust from his master. The gravedigger internally praises his new hire. You've only been employed for a month, but you're very reliable. I hired well. While carrying a fallen fighter, a masked Sagar looks perplexed, the gravedigger observing from a distance. Sagar's hand tightens on a corpse's wrist, his attention caught by a peculiar detail. His eyes widen, a flicker of understanding dawning as he inspects the marks more closely. Sagar notes aloud, his voice muffled by his mask. Similar bruise marks can be seen on almost all the corpses. He concludes, examining the fallen, judging by the size, location, and shape, they were likely made by bare fists. Cigar realizes with a shock, but these are all wounds from days ago, not from the final fight. He ponders. This arena is known for weapons, so why barehanded marks on every corpse? Suddenly, his master cries out from a distance, Cigar! Come here! Looking utterly panicked. Cigar turns, his masked face questioning. What is it, sir? As he approaches his distressed master. The old gravedigger points to a fallen fighter. This corpse, it appears to be that of a royal family member, matching the recent missing person notice. He elaborates, hair and eyebrows plucked, but the moles, teeth, it's a perfect match to the notice, while Sagar examines the paper. These bastards, the gravedigger seethes. A royal, missing a month, found here in the arena? Cigar, ever decisive, declares, Then I'll go call the lord and the church officials right away. But the old man yanks his apprentice's tunic, exclaiming, Wait! His eyes wide with fear. Reporting this, the gravedigger warns, his voice trembling, that could put OS in danger too. The old gravedigger frets. Don't you know the king's temperament? He'll think we did this. He nervously suggests, perhaps it might be better to just quietly bury this. Sagar listens, his expression unreadable, a silent storm brewing. Master, Sagar declares, his resolve hardening. Criminals must be punished, even if it costs me my life to uphold justice. With a determined, I'll be back, Sagar strides off, leaving his panicked master behind. The old gravedigger stares, wide-eyed and sweating, as his apprentice walks away. I hired poorly, the gravedigger mutters, watching Sagar's retreating figure against the desolate landscape. Sagar, meanwhile, grimly considers the consequences. Then everyone connected to the arena will be executed. Elsewhere, William clutches his arena pass, whispering, just one more time. Seated in the roaring crowd, William rationalizes, I'm just going to watch one more time. Happy's match. The sun blazes brightly, a picture of calm before the storm. Suddenly, ominous dark clouds roll in, swallowing the light. Lightning cracks across the sky as a woman inside glances nervously out her window. Why did the weather suddenly change like this? She frets. I need to bring in the laundry quickly. She opens the door only to be met by a sudden downpour. Her bright blue eyes widen in surprise, a silent question forming. What's going on now? She murmurs, confronted by a troop of armored knights at her doorstep. More royal knights fill her yard, their grim commander leading the charge, leaving her utterly bewildered. The imposing figures stand resolute in the torrential rain, their attention fixed on a nearby stone building. A heavy mace slams into the muddy ground with a thud, signaling serious business. The knight commander bellows, pointing towards the arena. Listen up! A royal family murderer is holed up in there. He roars his orders. No escapees. Capture everyone. Resistance means immediate, decisive action. His armored knights respond with a thunderous, unified yes, ready for the grim task. Inside the arena, another brutal match concludes, one fighter clearly dominating another. William, utterly dismayed, mutters, "Damn it! Are all these fights so grim besides Happy's?" Suddenly, a flamboyant announcer bursts forth, "And now for today's main event!" He pauses dramatically, fists clenched, addressing the eager crowd. "Everyone!" The announcer throws out a chilling question. "Remember that serial killer who terrified the village a month back?" Gasps ripple through the audience, William included, as they whisper, "A serial killer? That guy? Impossible." "Patrols couldn't touch him," the announcer declares. "He was known as the Nocturnal Demon, but shouldn't he be locked up?" The announcer bellows, "That man has come to this arena, and the first battle is..." He gestures wildly. "Of course it has to start with Happy Face," as the smiling fighter steps forward. William gasps from the crowd, "Impossible! That murderer is here?" As the announcer declares, "Now it's time for the Nocturnal Demon to appear," William scoffs internally. What a ridiculous place this is. The so-called Nocturnal Demon, Happy Face, grins wickedly. "They'll feed me for this? They've brought me to heaven, not hell." With a chilling smile and blades ready, he asks, "Shall we go then?" Suddenly, a massive armored boot thuds onto the arena floor, catching the demon off guard. The knight commander strides in, demanding, "How is this trash? Who should be on the gallows here?" The Nocturnal Demon, blade still in hand, looks utterly bewildered by this unexpected interruption. The commander grimly deduces, if Lucastian can pull someone like him from prison, he's definitely connected to the kingdom. The Nocturnal Demon, blades at the ready, stares down the imposing knight commander. His fight just got a serious upgrade. A dangerous glint in the demon's eye. "Oh!" As a wicked idea begins to spark. He glances back. An open door. The door opened, he thinks, seeing a potential or perhaps baited escape. "They even put a weapon in my hand," he muses, realizing this situation is far from a simple arrest. With a wild grin, he interprets this as a challenge. "This is just telling me to go out?" His grip tightens on his weapon, ready to carve a path through whatever stands in his way. The demon launches himself at the commander, a whirlwind of desperate fury against armored might. Meanwhile, the announcer frets by the empty stage. Why isn't he appearing? Oblivious to the chaos backstage. The crowd erupts in disbelief. "Is this a lie? There's no way that murderer could be here," while William watches intently. Suddenly, a spectator urges William, "Hey, wait, look over there," as something new captures their attention. The crowd gawks as the knight commander himself crashes the main event, mace ready for business. "Everyone!" he roars, his voice a shockwave through the suddenly silent arena. With eyes of steel, the commander lays down the law. "Kneel down, now." He then delivers the knockout blow. "You're all suspects in a royal murder," as knights seal every exit. "It wasn't me! Get out of my way!" one man screams, his panic clashing against a wall of steel. His desperate struggle ends abruptly, a grim lesson for anyone else thinking of arguing. "The king's decree is final," the commander thunders. "Resist and pay the ultimate price. Kneel!" William hits the dirt, his arena pass and winning scattering beside a fresh crimson warning. "Are you deaf?" the commander sneers at a cowering man. "I said kneel," while William observes. But William, amidst the terror, meets the commander's gaze with an unnervingly calm, almost challenging smile. The commander, thoroughly unamused by William's grin, icily asks, "You find this amusing, boy?" William stands, a strange glint in his eyes, the air crackling with unspoken defiance. Then, in a shocking move, William slams his forehead hard onto the dusty arena floor. The commander internally scoffs, always with the theatrics, these defiant ones. Unseen, William's hand tightens around a sturdy wooden pole, a desperate plan forming. He grinds his foot into the earth, coiling his body like a spring loaded for attack. Exploding upwards, William swings the makeshift club with surprising ferocity at the commander. A flash of genuine surprise crosses the commander's hardened eye. The audacity. Yet the commander freezes his own bone-crushing counterattack mid-swing, a puzzling hesitation. William is down again, the commander towering over him, the brief, wild rebellion seemingly crushed. William, with a manic grin, brings his club down, aiming to rearrange the commander's face. A blinding flash of impact, or perhaps just the commander's sheer astonishment at this kid's nerve. The commander's armored forearm meets wood, sending William spinning like a top from the deflected blow. Onlookers and knights alike gasp. Who is this lunatic challenging the commander? William, ever the opportunist, uses the spin to reposition, still grinning like he's having the time of his life. This bastard! The commander seethes, a trickle of blood on his face showing the attack wasn't entirely harmless. William's grip on his makeshift weapon tightens. Splintering wood be damned, he's not done yet. Now truly furious, the commander hefts his own massive weapon, ready to end this insolence permanently. The commander pauses, a flicker of realization. Again, he's standing as if he anticipated the attack before it was even swung. He's too close. The commander realizes William's daring move has put him in a spot where a big swing is impossible. The commander glares, realizing too late to dodge, his own bulk now a disadvantage. William's eye locks on target, the perfect moment to throw a punch, and he commits fully. With a shocking vault off his pole, William slams a powerful kick straight into the commander. That audacious kick sends the mighty commander flying, a spray of crimson marking William's successful hit. William lands, a bit shaken but still on his feet, the arena dust swirling around his defiance. Before the dust even settles, William launches himself again, a whirlwind of unexpected offense. He withstood it? The commander can't believe this upstart is still standing, let alone fighting back. Now utterly incensed, the commander swings his massive halberd with bone-shattering intent. The earth trembles as the commander's furious strike misses William by a hair's breadth, carving a trench. His powerful blow wasted, the commander turns, his gaze sweeping towards the arena steps, panting from exertion. The commander, bloodied and bewildered, questions the unfolding chaos. William, defying gravity, lands another stunning blow, flipping the commander end over end. The mighty commander crashes to the earth, the impact shaking the arena. Towering over his fallen foe, William's silhouette radiates an almost demonic triumph. Suddenly, a volley of projectiles rains down, narrowly missing William as he stands his ground. William twists and turns, but a few sharp points find their mark, drawing crimson. "Captain, are you all right?" His knights cry as both combatants now lie wounded on the arena floor. The commander, struggling to process, mutters, "What on earth is going on?" His gaze fixes on William, a single burning question in his eye. "Who is that guy?" Pinned by projectiles, William stares up with a wild, unbroken grin, clearly enjoying this insane fight. Both warriors are down, the commander staring daggers at William, who's impaled yet unbroken. The commander internally fumes. He's looking at me mockingly, utterly misjudging William's grin. "Even facing your end," he inwardly snarls, "you'll savor this humiliation?" With lethal intent, the commander rises, weapon poised. "As you wish, I'll finish you now." "Stop!" A new, rather round voice bellows, shattering the tense atmosphere. The commander, mid-execution, turns in surprise as a stout man frantically approaches. The newcomer, breathless, arrives before the imposing figure, uttering, "Lucastian." He pleads, he fought because he thought it was an arena match. He doesn't understand the situation. "Anyone in arena gear is just an opponent to him," the man exclaims. "He's merely a trained dog." Despite his wounds, a faint, almost imperceptible smirk plays on William's lips. The commander's eye twitches, a storm brewing within at this unexpected plea. "His expression!" the stout man cries. "It's a childhood affliction, not mockery." He pulls at his own cheeks, explaining, damaged nerves freeze his face into that smile. "What?" the commander utters, this new information halting his murderous intent. The portly man insists, sweating, "It's the unbelievable truth, Commander." A flashback reveals a baby William, his face locked in that same cheerful look. A lifelong misunderstanding begins. Even as a babe abandoned by his parents, his expression remained, confusing his new guardian. The boy, nicked by a blade, still appeared to laugh, his pain masked by his unyielding features. He even seemed to smile as his caregiver lay dying, his true sorrow unseen. Misjudged as a demon, William endured torment in prison, his constant grin fueling their cruelty. Yet, his fighting prowess ensured William survived even the harshest prison beatdowns, baffling onlookers. The stout man, peering through cell bars, wonders at the chaos William effortlessly creates. "I've seen this pattern his whole life," the man thinks, recognizing the tragic misunderstandings. Even as a boy, surrounded by the consequences of violence, William's face showed only that eerie cheer. Beneath the grin, a soul in constant turmoil, forever scared, sad, and desperate, unable to show it. "But nobody believes it," the portly man insists, pointing to William's current painful predicament. "Look closely," he urges the commander. "He appears joyful, even impaled, and in agony." Crowds were drawn to William's happy warrior persona, fueling his tragic legend in the arena. "I too was captivated," the stout man confesses. "That's why I'm here. I couldn't abandon him." "This is my thanks, Happy," he declares. "For a joy I never knew, you've given it to me." William lies pinned, that unsettling grin plastered on his face as the commander's weapon hovers. Nonsense, the commander roars, utterly dismissing the plea. Everyone here is going to die anyway. In a shocking move, the stout man hurls himself forward, taking the commander's devastating blow. Afterwards, Lucastian confessed his crimes, facing grim justice alongside the arena's operators the very next day. Their gallows were erected in prime view, directly beneath the king's morning balcony, a clear statement. This decisive public display of retribution slightly calmed the king's simmering anger. Meanwhile, in the cold prison, a different figure sobs, "I don't want to die here," awaiting execution. Another prisoner, pale with fear, whispers, "I overheard. Everyone involved has been dealt with, and now it's our turn." He clutches himself, thoughts racing. Execution? How did it come to this? What did I do? Utterly broken, he begs for mercy. "Please spare me, please, I'm sorry." In the gloom of the prison, a familiar, unnervingly cheerful face asks the despairing prisoner, "Are you okay?" The prisoner, lost in his misery, barely registers the question, muttering the name Happy under his breath. Suddenly, he jolts upright, recognizing the voice and exclaiming, "Happy Face? When did you get here?" William, aka Happy Face, casually reveals from his cell, "I've been locked up here with you since yesterday." With that signature wide grin, William adds, "You were just talking to yourself, so I was watching." The prisoner, flustered by this revelation, stammers, "Ah, was I that out of it?" His mind flashes back to the arena, recalling William grievously wounded by a hail of projectiles. Pointing in disbelief, he questions, "Weren't you hit by arrows?" To which William nonchalantly replies, "I was hit a little." William then cheekily explains, holding up some loose arrows, "But I just pretended to be pierced all over my body and lay down." Beaming with his usual unsettling cheer, William declares with absolute confidence, "I'm fine." The prisoner reels, muttering unbelievable at William's audacious survival story. His mind flashes back to the truth. Damaged nerves lock William's face, masking a soul in constant turmoil. Still huddled in fear, he asks William, "You're scared now too, right? Despite what they say?" William, with that terrifyingly cheerful grin, confirms, "Of course I'm scared. We're about to die." William's cellmate is struck dumb, the sheer disconnect between face and fear utterly bewildering. A sudden, incredulous laugh escapes the prisoner. William's terrifying cheer in the face of doom is just too much. "Is it funny?" William asks, his grin unwavering as the prisoner stammers a flustered denial. William, ever the enigma, simply states with his smile, "It's okay. Everyone is like that." The prisoner, still trying to compute, weakly agrees, "Yeah," completely thrown by this strange comfort. Silence falls as the prisoner looks down, a bead of sweat tracing his temple, pondering the paradox that is Happy Face. The prisoner muses, "Waiting for death, but this guy's presence somehow calms my nerves." Suddenly, a guard bellows, "The king orders families to prove your innocence." Hope ignites. The prisoner leaps up, "If proven innocent, you're released." William, ever grinning, hears the catch. Those who can't prove their origins will be executed. An hour passes, then desperate cries, "William! Son! Brother!" as a family rushes in. The prisoner tearfully reunites with his family. "Father, mother, I'm sorry." His mother clutches him, sorrow and relief warring on her face as his sibling hugs his leg. From his cell, William observes the poignant family reunion, his own face an unreadable mask. The prisoner, his family gone, turns to William with a sudden, heavy understanding. "Ah," he calls out, a newfound empathy in his voice. "Happy!" A flashback reveals a young William, haunted by spectral hands, clutching a book in the rain. His father's voice echoes from the past. "This is how people without families live, William." The grim lesson continues. They are slaves by birth, their lives predetermined. Young William's eyes well with tears as he whispers, "Father!" Understanding the harsh reality, back in the present, William's eyes burn with defiance. But that's not a reason to be executed. He's dragged away, his adult self looking back at his younger, equally trapped reflection. A guard barks, "Stop talking and follow me," as William is led towards an unknown fate. William reflects, a steely gaze fixed. "I haven't changed from when I was young." His internal monologue reveals a crushing truth. "I have no power to act on my own will, I'm so weak." Shadows nearly consume his eyes, mirroring the darkness of his perceived helplessness. Despite his grim reality, William flashes that unsettling smile, declaring, "It's okay." Yet a flicker in William's eyes betrays a depth far beyond his cheerful facade. He turns, bloodstains marring his back, peering through the bars as his former cellmate's family departs. Outside, the freed prisoner walks away with his loved ones, a stark contrast to William's solitude. An official coldly orders, "The innocents are gone. Send the remaining prisoners to the gallows." But a guard interjects, "Sir, there's a peculiar exception to consider." Turns out the disgraced Lucastian once registered a contestant as a church member, likely for a hefty sum. Church law dictates this individual won't face execution, but a lifetime of servitude, a fate the king has approved. The official, clearly intrigued, demands, "Well, who is this fortunate soul?" The guard reveals, "There's no proper name, sir, only their contestant title." The official's eyes widen in shock, a demonic visage of Happy Face looming in his mind as he gasps, "It's Happy Face." He clenches his fist, realizing Lucastian's cryptic words were a final, desperate act of repayment for an emotion he'd never known. Peering from a stone window, the official ponders just what kind of enigma Happy Face truly is to inspire such devotion. 1 week drifts by, the scene shifting to the grim reality of a desolate slave market. Inside, a merchant eyes William, who's curled up in a cage, emitting unsettling, muffled sounds. "Is this new arrival unhinged?" One trader scoffs, while another callously remarks, "His constant cackling means no sale." "Just let him waste away," the first suggests, revealing even the church offloaded him for a pittance, deeming him surplus. Suddenly, a calm voice cuts through. "I would like to buy that child," as an elderly man with a staff approaches the surprised traders. One trader, utterly bewildered, stammers, We don't have any children here, sir." The old man clarifies, gesturing to William, "I mean that child, the one weeping so sorrowfully in the cage." The old woman, her gaze unwavering and voice firm, declares with conviction, "I will take him." In her ancient eyes, a reflection of William's tear-streaked face in the cage reveals she sees his profound sorrow. Later at a dinner table, a young woman exclaims in disbelief, "Grandmother brought in a slave?" Her shock deepens to worry. But why? Is she alone with him right now? An older man calmly explains they need help at home, as waiting at the clinic gets harder with age. The girl frets about trusting a slave in these dangerous times, but he reminds her of grandmother's good judgment. Still doubtful, she decides, "I'll visit tomorrow. I must see this person with my own eyes." The story transitions to a quaint farmhouse, nestled peacefully under a soft sky. Inside, the old woman gently tells William, now out of the cage and sporting his usual smile, "First, let's get you washed and into clean clothes." Before another word, the old woman's stomach lets out an impressive growl, signaling a more immediate need. The old woman, aghast, exclaims, "Don't tell me those scoundrels didn't even feed you?" She shoos William towards the bathroom. "Oh my, go wash up quickly, I'll prepare some food." With a pan in hand, she lays down the law. "Today's a freebie, but from tomorrow you work for your meals, understand?" William's eye widens slightly, a curious glint as he asks, "Fighting?" The old woman pauses, a flicker of confusion crossing her weathered face. "Fighting?" she repeats, dismissing his odd question. "Don't say such frightening things." She clarifies his future chores. "You'll wash dishes, clean rooms, and gather firewood for winter." William, ever smiling, stands by a steaming tub as she urges, "Go wash up quickly." His discarded clothes hit the floor as he trudges towards the inviting bath. William dips a foot into the warm water, a small step into his new, uncertain life. William's signature unsettling grin widens, a stark contrast to a chilling memory of his younger self enduring the cold. His eyes, though still wide, show a hint of genuine bewilderment at this new, warm environment. "It's warm," he registers as his foot meets the water, a sensation completely foreign. Submerged in the wooden tub, the harsh history etched onto his back becomes starkly visible. This simple bath feels like an absolution, the warmth a novel comfort washing away years of remembered pain. Next, fresh clothes are offered, a far cry from his previous rags and a new sensation of comfort. The aroma of simmering food promises a proper meal, another unfamiliar luxury in this strange new life. At the table, the old woman serves him, this house already offering more kindness than he's ever known. Even the people here are different, as a gentle hand applies a healing poultice to his scarred skin. Tending his wounds, the old woman clucks at the cruelty he's faced, assuring him the herbs will mend his injuries. William, still bearing the marks of his past, addresses her formally. "Excuse me, master." The old woman offers a revolutionary kindness. "Just call me grandmother." "Grandmother?" William repeats, the unfamiliar term sparking a flicker in his wide eyes. She patiently waits for his next words, asking gently, "What is it?" He voices a simple yet profound desire. "Can I go outside?" An unspoken understanding passes between them before she grants his quiet plea. Stepping out, William stretches towards the open sky, a gesture of pure, unadulterated awe. His eyes, wide and luminous, drink in the expanse, a world away from confinement. His hand reaches out, fingers splayed, as if to touch the very air of freedom. Suddenly, a stark memory surfaces, a small, tearful child gazing at a sliver of light from a dark cell. A poignant memory surfaces, Lucastian telling a young, wide-eyed William, "The world outside these bars is much bigger than you think." Lucastian's voice echoes, "The sky and land stretch endlessly. If you were given freedom, you would understand." Back in the present, William glances over his shoulder, the rising sun illuminating a path he now comprehends. He takes in the sight of the farmhouse, a beacon of unexpected sanctuary in this vast world. Inside, the old woman sits, her voice heavy but kind. "If you want to leave, you can. I'm too old to stop you anyway." A flicker of crimson in William's eyes betrays an internal shift, a decision solidifying. He steps back into the house, his voice calm. "Grandmother, I've seen everything." His bare feet tread firmly on the wooden floor, a silent declaration of his choice. Each step is deliberate, carrying him not away, but towards something new within these walls. Another flashback pierces through. A tiny William looking up at Lucastian, uttering a single heartfelt word. "Dad." Lucastian's kind, scarred face from the past gazes down, a bittersweet memory. The old woman looks up, her expression mirroring that gentle understanding in the present. William, beaming and holding plates, declares, "I'll start working right away. I'm fine now." A warm, knowing smile spreads across the old woman's face, pleased by his resolve. Just then, the older man arrives, cheerfully calling out, "Old woman, I'm back!" His cheerful greeting falters into a bewildered, "Huh?" as he takes in the scene. William, now in an apron and cap, broom in hand, brightly welcomes him. "Welcome home!" The man turns to the old woman, utterly perplexed. "Old woman, didn't you say you were bringing a child?" She gestures emphatically at William, retorting, "He is a child. What's wrong?" The man scratches his head, chuckling nervously. Is that so?" Already anticipating Winnie's dramatic reaction. The old man, still slightly bemused, welcomes William to their unconventional family. William, ever the enigma, offers a gentle, almost serene smile in his new domestic attire. Through the window, the trio appears as a picture of newfound, if unexpected, domestic bliss. This day, William radiates pure joy, experiencing a warmth he's never known before. But peace is fragile, as a hurled rock shatters a window, abruptly ending the tranquility. The scene shifts to a stark night, a younger William gazing through the broken pane, his world fractured. This memory plunges us into William's past, a time of bitter cold and profound desolation. News of the arena incident had spread like wildfire, branding him a pariah in his own dormitory. Despite his desperate pleas of innocence, cruel accusations painted him as a monster, even for things unseen. Consequently, his achievements were stripped away, his scholarships revoked, his future stolen. With an expulsion hearing looming, William found himself utterly alone, abandoned by everyone at school. His youthful face, etched with a grim understanding, showed the weight of false accusations. He watched in silence as Lucastian, his father figure, desperately pleaded for a second chance on his behalf. A tremor of suppressed emotion ran through William, his jaw tight with unspoken anguish. Driven by a desperate need for truth, William's hurried footsteps echoed his urgent mission. He pounded on a senior's door, clutching a pass, frantically trying to clear his name. "It wasn't me!" William yelled, his voice raw with the injustice of being framed for something he didn't do. The door creaked open, a sliver of hope in the suffocating darkness of betrayal. William's gaze fixed on the opening, a silent plea for acknowledgement in his eyes. But instead of help, he faced a cold dismissal. "Get lost, you barbarian!" shattering his last hope. William's eyes blaze with fury, the barbarian taunt echoing in his mind. Inside, the senior smirks, mockingly accusing William of trying to frame him. William's hand tightens around the pass, his patience utterly shattered. He lunges, a blur of motion, aiming his frustration squarely at the tormentor. The impact is swift, a desperate act born from unbearable injustice. Onlookers grab William, their voices branding him crazy and violent once more. The senior, recovering quickly, delivers the final blow with a smug, "Your expulsion is confirmed." Held back, William unleashes a defiant spit, his last act of rebellion. "Shut up, you irredeemable trash!" William roars, his voice raw with betrayed innocence. That very night, William is cast out, the final decision on his fate delayed, leaving him alone in the dark. Unable to face home, William sought solace in the desolate mountains, tears marking his lonely path. He whispered a desperate apology to his parents, lost and unsure of his next move. Suddenly, a cheerful figure with a basket of foraged goods pops up, asking a startled William, "Are you okay?" William stares in disbelief, stammering, How are you here? I thought you were dead." The stranger, unfazed, explains his late-night snack run and casually offers William a mushroom. Still bewildered, William watches as the peculiar fellow cheerfully presents the questionable fungi. William dryly points out, "That's a poisonous mushroom," prompting a dramatic gasp and an "I almost died" from the other. Unseen by the pair, two figures observe their odd encounter from the bushes, chuckling at the scene. One of the observers, Lucastian, questions his companion, who confidently states he saw William leaving the noble's university. The companion firmly concludes, "No doubt about it, he's at least from a noble family." Lucastian's companion scoffs, "He's obviously the village idiot. Nobles always keep one dim-witted fellow by their side." Meanwhile, a sinister group of bandits with glowing eyes spots them, sensing an opportunity for a good haul of gold coins. Oblivious, the cheerful fellow asks William, "So you're now a slave at that grandmother's house?" To which William casually confirms. "But is it okay for you to just come out alone like this?" the mushroom enthusiast queries, concerned for William's well-being. William offers a rare, genuine smile. "She must be a good person then. I can feel how considerate she is." His companion beams, "I think so too. I was thinking I was going to die, but..." trailing off with relief. The curious fellow then pivots. "By the way, are you okay now? Why were you crying earlier?" William hesitates, the jovial mood dimming as he begins, That's..." Under the dark forest canopy, before he can explain, a menacing figure with a drawn sword interrupts, "What brings a young noble to such a dangerous mountain path?" Startled, William and his companion turn to face the unwelcome armed intruder. More bandits emerge from the shadows, one brandishing a hefty axe, clearly outnumbering our duo. William, ever the strategist, sharply orders his companion, "Happy, get down!" a command that leaves Happy utterly perplexed. Without warning, William prostrates himself on the ground, leaving Happy standing there, a beacon of baffled innocence. Trembling, William offers a meager handful of coins, desperately begging, "Please spare my life. This is all my wealth." The assembled bandits exchange smug, predatory grins, clearly unimpressed by William's groveling. Their leader gives a slow, mocking clap. "Wow, your situational judgment is very quick," he sneers. Then the chilling reveal, "But our target is your parents. You're being kidnapped." As the bandits move to secure them, William stammers, Wait, I'm not even a noble." But they're already tying up Happy. One ruffian grabs Happy, peering into his basket with a sneer, Cake! What is this?" Suddenly, Happy unleashes a stunningly swift punch, connecting decisively with the bandit's face. The ruffian hits the dirt, out cold from Happy's unexpected haymaker. His bewildered bandit buddies stare, completely clueless about what just went down. "Yanma, what happened?" one asks as Happy beams innocently in the background. Happy flashes a grin so wide it's almost terrifying, a stark contrast to the chaos. "You did this, you little punk!" another bandit snarls, brandishing his axe at the cheerful fellow. Happy's hand twitches, ready for round two as the bandit sputters in disbelief. Before anyone can blink, Happy lands another perfectly aimed strike, sending the second bandit flying. Now 2 bandits are down for the count, courtesy of the surprisingly capable Happy. The remaining outlaws are frozen, a chorus of question marks hanging over their stunned faces. Happy stands triumphant, his cheerful demeanor now radiating an unexpectedly intimidating aura. The bandit leader, utterly enraged, screams for his men to finish off the surprisingly strong Happy. He lunges forward, knife flashing, aiming a vicious strike at the cheerful fellow. But Happy ducks and the bandit leader's wild kick only grazes him, sending him tumbling. The bandit leader glares fiercely, while Happy hits the dirt, a look of surprise on his face. Sprawled on the ground, Happy reaches out, momentarily vulnerable. Another bandit seizes the chance, bringing his axe down in a brutal arc towards the downed Happy. Happy, with surprising agility, rolls aside, the axe thudding harmlessly into the earth. From the bushes, Lucastian watches the unfolding chaos, his expression one of utter disbelief. Now armed with a fallen bandit's axe, Happy glares up, a dangerous glint in his eyes. With a powerful spin, Happy unleashes a devastating counterattack, axe meeting its mark. The bandit leader, disarmed and defeated, stares in disbelief from the ground. His eyes widen in sudden, horrified realization as he processes Happy's true strength. Happy unleashes a flurry of strikes, effortlessly neutralizing the remaining ruffians, one even begging for his life. William, stunned, admits Happy's fierce expression momentarily made him forget the danger. The shocking truth revealed, Happy, with a terrifying red aura, was once an arena champion. The last few bandits scatter in pure terror, screaming as they try to escape Happy's wrath. Happy turns to William, a blood-splattered yet still disturbingly cheerful grin plastered on his face. William watches the carnage, utterly dumbfounded. He took down armed robbers barehanded. How is this real? He then recalls Happy also single-handedly besting a royal knight, again with nothing but his fists. A massive question mark hangs over William's head as he tries to comprehend Happy's unbelievable power. William spots a crumpled paper near a downed bandit. A wanted poster, he wonders. He picks it up, revealing an arrest notice for the exile clowns, notorious for serious crimes. William gasps, his eyes locking onto the reward section for the all-exile clowns crime. Turning to his oblivious companion, William reveals, Happy, these guys were exile clowns. Happy, ever the picture of innocence, tilts his head and asks, What's that? William explains grimly. They're the largest criminal organization spread throughout the kingdom. Their nefarious influence has reached the kingdom's center, prompting the king to issue a hefty bounty. William's eyes gleam as he rereads the poster. But this bounty is quite substantial. A cunning plan sparks in William's mind. If we tie these guys up and report them, we could get the money. Happy, still processing the whirlwind of events, simply echoes, Bounty? William's grand plan hits a snag. The official declares, slaves cannot receive bounty payments. Ever loyal, William argues. He's my friend, I can vouch for him. But the official remains skeptical. The stern official retorts, that doesn't change his status, unmoved by William's plea. Quick-thinking William proposes, then I'll put it in my name, and the official grudgingly agrees. The paperwork is signed, sealed, delivered. William is officially the capturer of the exile clowns. Ka-ching! A hefty pouch of coins, the hard-earned bounty, changes hands. William hands Happy the reward, advising, stop gathering mushrooms and buy some real food. Happy, clutching the money bag with a fanged grin, innocently asks, but how do I buy things with this? Realizing Happy's complete cluelessness, William offers, then let's go together next time, I'll teach you. Happy beams, absolutely delighted. That would be great, ready for his shopping lesson. William and Happy chat under the stars, Happy admitting this is his first taste of life outside the arena. As they part, William points to his house, suggesting they meet again when Happy's free. Happy waves goodbye with a huge grin, eagerly agreeing to their next meeting. William watches Happy go, a thoughtful, almost gentle smile on his face. His smile fades slightly as he looks down, a hint of contemplation in his eyes. William lets out a heavy sigh, the weight of his own situation returning. The next morning arrives, and it's the day of William's expulsion verdict in a grand hall. William's parents look on anxiously, his mother recalling he said there were no injuries. Meanwhile, the noble lad William, assaulted, sits with his parents, sporting a rather dramatic head bandage. A stern official announces, William will now, preparing to deliver the judgment. The official declares, at the end of a fair trial, I will now pronounce the verdict, as William awaits his fate. He continues, William assaulted a fellow student, he deserves to be punished accordingly. But then a dramatic pause from the official, however, William is utterly baffled as a medal is pinned to his chest for his merit in defeating some members of the kingdom's greatest evil. His parents stare, completely bewildered by this unexpected turn of events. The bandaged noble and his folks are equally stunned, the lad sputtering, What? The official announces that by the king's order, William's courage means his crimes are forgiven, and he gets another chance. That's impossible, seethes the bandaged noble, utterly incensed by this royal pardon. He glares, convinced his parents must have used money. The noble's internal monologue continues, accusing them of buying their commoner son's way into a top university spot, as William's parents look on with concern. The noble scoffs, removing his fake bandage. I was planning to get rid of him completely. Flashback. We jump to the previous night, before Happy even crossed paths with William. Happy tossed and turned, unable to sleep due to a mysterious, agonizing pain. It felt like countless needles were stabbing his insides, a torment he couldn't understand. Hours passed, but the pain lingered, forcing Happy to seek its source, his body tense. He innocently wonders, am I hungry? Maybe I should find something to eat. But it wasn't hunger. His arena-forged body craved action, restless in this new peaceful life. Then came the bandit brawl, that glorious release. His body finally found stability again. And so, Happy woke up today feeling incredibly refreshed, a fanged grin on his face. Best sleep since leaving the arena. He stretches contentedly by the window, basking in the morning sun, finally at ease. Happy bursts in, cheerfully announcing his return, but finds only an empty space and a lingering question. Elsewhere, a young woman warmly reunites with her grandmother, an older man observing their tender moment. The man then inquires about the little one they were expecting, and the woman confirms he's inside. She reveals a charming wooden bird, a thoughtful gift to help the newcomer feel at ease. With gentle anticipation, she calls out, "Little one," expecting a child. Instead, Happy emerges, a towering figure with a fanged, almost unsettlingly wide grin. The woman's eyes widen, her welcoming gift slipping from her grasp as she beholds this unexpected little one. The small wooden bird tumbles to the dusty ground, forgotten in the sudden shock. Utterly bewildered, the woman stammers, "Who?" A bead of sweat tracing her temple. A horrifying realization dawns on her. This giant, grinning man must be the child they were told about. With a fanged grin and a cheerful wave, the giant introduces himself. "I'm Happy." The scene shifts to a quaint farmhouse, the new, albeit temporary, home for our gentle giant. Inside, the young woman whispers urgently to her grandfather, "He's from the arena? That's terrifying." The grandfather, ever the pragmatist, calmly suggests, "Let's just observe him a bit longer." He adds thoughtfully, "From what I've seen, he actually seems like a decent fellow." Peeking through the window, the grandfather notes, "And look, he's making grandmother smile like she hasn't in ages." Indeed, outside, Happy shares a hearty laugh with the beaming grandmother, blissfully unaware of the scrutiny. "One thing's for sure," the grandfather remarks. "He's the most cheerful soul we've had around here lately." A satisfied smile spreads across the grandfather's face. Plus, the lad's a surprisingly good worker. True to his word, Happy effortlessly hoists a heavy barrel, asking the grandmother for directions with his signature grin. The grandfather, relieved, admits his aching back kept him from storage duty, while the young woman still seems a tad uneasy. She ponders for a moment, her expression thoughtful as she processes this new farmhand. The clear blue sky hints at a day of hard work ahead on the farm. A sturdy log sits on the chopping block, an axe resting nearby, ready for action. Gripping the axe, the young woman mutters, "I could have handled this myself, no slave needed." With a mighty crack, a log splits cleanly in two, showcasing some serious chopping power. She swings the axe with determination, sending wood chips flying as she tackles the pile. While she toils away at the woodpile, Happy effortlessly strolls by, hauling 2 massive water buckets. Pausing her work, she spots Happy and asks, a little surprised, "You fetched water already?" Happy beams, his fanged grin wide. "Yep, your bath water is all ready." The young woman, still a bit wary, tells Happy, "If you're done, take a rest. I'll chop all the firewood." Happy, ever agreeable, flashes his signature fanged grin and chirps, "Okay." He sets down the massive water buckets with a gentle thud by the well. Then Happy plops himself down on the grass, ready to spectate with a cheerful expression. Confused, the woman turns. "Why are you still watching?" she asks, clearly expecting him to leave. "I want to watch and learn," Happy declares, his wide eyes and fanged smile beaming. "It's going to be my job from now on." A hint of a smile plays on her lips as she thinks, "That's a good attitude," impressed by his eagerness. "Yes, watch and learn well," she says, gripping her axe handle with renewed purpose. She swiftly ties back her blonde hair, her blue eyes focused, ready to demonstrate her wood-chopping prowess. With a mighty swing and a satisfying crack, she splits a thick log, sending wood chips flying. Tiny wood splinters dance through the air, testament to her powerful strike. She continues her demonstration, axe meeting wood with practiced ease, as Happy watches intently. A moment of silence hangs between them, her focus absolute, his gaze unwavering. "Kindling is key," she explains, pointing emphatically. "Got it?" And Happy eagerly absorbs the lesson. With a determined grimace, she hoists the axe again, channeling all her strength for the next blow. Wham! The axe bites deep, cleaving another log with impressive force. A triumphant, almost smug smile lights up her face. She knows she's good. Happy's eyes sparkle with admiration, his fanged grin wider than ever at her display. "See that precision?" she boasts, gesturing to her handiwork, while Happy cheers his enthusiastic approval. As she chuckles, Happy applauds her skill, the grandfather quietly observing their growing rapport with a knowing smile. The grandfather muses, "Despite what Winnie says, it seems like she's getting along well." Just then, grandmother approaches, telling Winnie, "Oh, Winnie, you don't need to chop firewood." Winnie, mid-chop, turns in surprise. "What? Isn't this not enough?" "Happy chopped it all last night," grandmother reveals, gesturing to a mountain of wood. "There's plenty in the back." Winnie stares, utterly baffled, as Happy is now attempting to chop wood himself in the distance. She marches over to Happy, demanding, "Didn't you just say you wanted to watch and learn?" Happy, ever cheerful, explains, "I tried chopping for the first time yesterday, but my shoulders hurt a bit. I wanted to see the proper form." Winnie explodes, "It's normal for it to hurt when you chop that much, and if you've done so much, you should have told me earlier." "Hey, why do you keep smiling? Are you mocking me?" Winnie fumes as grandmother gently tells Happy, "You've worked hard. Go rest now." As grandmother thanks Happy, Winnie crosses her arms with a frustrated humph, clearly outmaneuvered. Later, steam fills the cozy farmhouse interior, hinting at a well-deserved soak. The warm, steamy atmosphere inside contrasts with the cooling evening air. Winnie relaxes in the bath, admitting, "Still, it's definitely nice to have one more person in the house." She sinks deeper, musing, "With no chores left, the house feels much more comfortable." Now drying off, Winnie sighs, "Phew," all dried, as seen through the window. Peeking out, a sudden movement catches her eye, a questioning look on her face. Through the window, she spots Happy striding away from the farm as dusk settles. "It's going to get dark soon," Winnie frets. "Where is he going?" Rushing to her grandparents, she asks, "Happy, did he go out?" While they express surprise. Grandmother thoughtfully recalls, "I did tell him to live freely, except during work hours." Grandfather pipes up, "Pretty sure he slipped out last night as well, dear." Winnie, ever the worrier, frowns. What on earth is he doing out so late? Meanwhile, Happy clutches a pouch that jingles with mysterious contents. He arrives at a wooden door, rapping gently with his knuckles. "William," Happy calls out, his fanged smile as bright as ever. The door creaks ajar and a tiny face peeks out from the shadows. Happy, ever so slightly puzzled, peers down at the unexpected greeter. "Who is it?" A small, curious voice chirps from behind the door. A man appears, ushering the child inside before telling Happy, "Brother, I'm stepping out for a moment, okay?" The little girl, now in the man's arms, gazes up, demanding, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the library, the man reassures the curious little girl. "So is that brother a library friend?" she whispers, and he smoothly agrees. "Yes, that's right." As the girl waves them off, William tells her, "Yes, be good," while Happy beams. William, slightly surprised, tells Happy, "I didn't expect you to come so quickly." Happy, ever cheerful, innocently asks, "Is it okay for you to come out?" "Of course it is," William declares with a confident, almost sly smile. "Besides, you saved my life. Anything is fine," William exclaims, leaving Happy utterly bewildered. "I'll tell you on the way," William offers. "Let's hurry. You want to go to the market, right?" "No, I want to go here," Happy announces, brandishing an arrest notice for a dangerous iron giant. William's eyes widen in sheer confusion, a silent question mark hanging in the air. William stares, dumbfounded, as Happy reveals a handful of wanted posters. "I want to fight these guys," Happy grins. "But my reading skills, not so hot. Help a fella out?" "You want to go bounty hunting?" William clarifies, and Happy eagerly offers a 50-50 split, even for past deeds. Turns out William wasn't just grateful, Happy's unique fighting style had seriously impressed him. For Happy, these matches were a way to ease his nightly pain and a perfectly legal outlet for his enthusiasm. And so, their nightly rendezvous began, a dynamic duo of bounty hunters under the cloak of darkness. "Think we'll snag one tonight?" Happy wonders, perched on a cart with their latest, very subdued acquisition. Back at the bounty board, Happy cheerfully grabs fresh posters while a guard enjoys a well-deserved nap. But at William's home, his little sister eyes him suspiciously. "Off to the library again, big brother?" "He never plays anymore," she wails, as William makes a hasty exit, promising his return amidst the tiny tantrum. Back at the farmhouse, Winnie and grandfather share a moment of silent concern. Meanwhile, a curious paper bird and a lone spoon sit innocently on a windowsill. Winnie, investigating Happy's room, uncovers something hidden beneath his bedding, asking, "What is this jackpot?" Or rather, a hefty sack overflowing with coins is revealed. Holding the loot, a bewildered Winnie demands, "What on earth is he doing every night?" Elsewhere, in a hidden cave, treasure chests brim with similar bags of ill-gotten gains. A formidable armored figure, the infamous Iron Giant, stands guard in his dimly lit lair. The aftermath of a fierce confrontation, defeated knights litter the ground around the victorious giant. The Iron Giant grumbles, "These days there are too many guards because of the exile clowns." He reflects, "Soldiers used to ignore me, but the kingdom's atmosphere seems different these days." The Iron Giant scoffs, with bounties now offered, even flies are gathering at his doorstep. Approaching their target, Happy nervously clears his throat, wanted poster clutched tight. "William, you did it! You really found him!" Happy beams, completely missing William's horrified expression. A chilling realization hits William. His instincts scream, "Something's wrong." He'd sought the lowest bounty, so why are they facing this absolute monster amidst a scene of prior defeat? The giant, unimpressed by the newcomers, advises these rookies to simply, just quietly leave. He claims his bounty is merely nominal, a token gesture due to recent exile clown activities. Placed nominally? William pales. So you've been getting away with being a criminal all this time? His eyes dart to the defeated knights. Because they couldn't catch you? Ah, I see, William stammers, already backing away. Then we'll be going. William tries to wave off the encounter, but a blur of green signals it's already too late. Happy, ever the enthusiast, launches himself feet first at the Iron Giant's imposing shield. The giant effortlessly parries the attack, sending a shockwave through the air. Happy hits the deck, but the Iron Giant remains unimpressed by this reckless charge. Bare hands against me? The giant scoffs. Bold but utterly foolish. He even mocks the impact. That knee of yours must be singing a sorry tune. But Happy bounces back up, fanged grin wider than ever, completely ignoring his now noticeable limp. William, witnessing this madness, can only gasp, Happy, no, this is insane. Let's get out of here, William pleads, but Happy's already locked onto his new favorite playmate. The Iron Giant, however, has other plans, ominously declaring it's far too late for retreat. Happy's high kick meets the Iron Giant's shield, a classic unstoppable force versus immovable object. Should have taken the hint, kid, the giant growls, Mercy officially off the table. The giant unleashes his mace in a devastating arc, turning Happy into a green blur of evasion. But the mace finds its mark, a sickening thud echoing as Happy is struck. Happy hits the dirt hard, the ground itself groaning from the sheer force of the blow. Astonishingly, Happy attempts to strike the mace mid-swing, still full of reckless fight. Another bone-jarring collision as Happy's desperate defense meets raw, overwhelming power. William, meanwhile, is practically a statue of horror on the sidelines, watching the brutal exchange. His face screams the silent realization, we are so out of our league. Happy's finally down, the giant's mace casting a long, ominous shadow over his still form. Stop! William throws himself between the Iron Giant and a downed Happy, a desperate human shield. Happy, dazed on the ground, looks up quizzically as the giant's massive boot looms nearby. William confesses, Happy, your fighting in the arena didn't seem cruel to me, it just seemed cool somehow. He continues. Plus, there was an underlying belief that you would win, which made me want to watch more. And thanks to you catching those exile clowns, William cries, I was able to go back to school. His voice cracks. But my thinking was too narrow. This isn't the arena with that underlying belief. Tears streaming, William wails, I wanted to watch your matches, not push you toward death. I'm so sorry. I should have looked into it more. The Iron Giant, utterly unmoved by the tearful confession, raises his mace to end William's plea. But in a flash of green, Happy intercepts the blow, shoving William clear of the deadly impact. Happy, cradling a stunned William, grins, You really were that kid who came to my arena for the first time. Happy, cradling William, drops a bombshell with a grin. This is all an act. Suddenly, Happy's on his feet, delivering a swift kick that sends the giant's mace flying. The Iron Giant actually recoils, a surprised coo escaping his helmet. Disbelief colors the giant's voice. Wasn't your body completely shattered? Happy, now casually holding the giant's mace, turns to a bewildered William. He begins to explain. My former master, Lucastian, had an obsession with strength, as dark energy swirls around the weapon. A flashback reveals countless brutal battles. Every time I won, he'd find even stronger opponents. Happy continues. But because I ended fights too quickly, it wasn't profitable, and he got annoyed. Back in the cave, Happy smirks, so I had to pretend to struggle to satisfy the entertainment value. He elaborates, analyzing, provoking, feigning weakness, all to create interesting matches. Happy recalls the clangs of his staged performances, the sounds of feigned struggle. He remembers deliberately making his attacks look less effective, like that impact on the shield. Even faking a limp was part of the act, all to drag out the show for the crowd. With a flick of his wrist, Happy discards the giant's mace, no longer needing the prop. The heavy weapon thuds twice, a stark contrast to Happy's effortless handling. It lands right at the Iron Giant's feet, a symbol of his sudden disarmament. Happy gives William a cheeky wave as if to say, See, all part of the plan. The Iron Giant, meanwhile, is floored, his pride and armor equally dented. I never fought because I liked it, Happy clarifies, his smile chillingly genuine now. A grim flashback reveals the brutal truth. For Happy, not fighting meant facing unspeakable horrors. Happy admits his performative fighting style is now second nature, a deeply ingrained habit. That's why I fight, he declares, a chilling intensity in his eyes, hinting at a darker reason. A flashback shows Happy in another brutal brawl, his fist connecting with an armored foe. Even in memory, his opponent's shield meets his attack, a familiar dance of feigned struggle. The past enemy scoffs, Keep fighting like that and you won't even be able to scratch me, echoing the giant's earlier taunts. The flashback continues, Happy nimbly evading multiple armored assailants in a chaotic melee. He takes a hit, but so does an opponent, showcasing the brutal give and take of his past. Back in the present, the Iron Giant pants, utterly bewildered by Happy's sudden turnaround. Something's strange, the giant mutters, launching another attack, clearly unsettled by this new Happy. The giant can't reconcile the near-death fighter with this revitalized terror. Wasn't he dying just a moment ago? The Iron Giant wonders, why does he seem so relaxed now? As Happy grins confidently. With a resounding crack, the giant's gauntleted fist clenches, ready for another round. Happy's eyes gleam with an almost manic energy, his smile widening unsettlingly. The giant lunges, his armored fist aiming to pulverize the suddenly revitalized fighter. Happy digs his heels in, a blur of motion as he prepares to meet the charge head-on. Instead of dodging, Happy intercepts the giant's punch with his own weapon, a shocking display of nerve. The impact reverberates as Happy redirects the giant's momentum, spinning him around. Happy drives his weapon into the giant's side, the armored plating groaning under the focused assault. Gasp! Happy notes with surprise. It won't break, eyeing the dented but intact armor. Happy tightens his grip, undeterred, ready to test the limits of that stubborn defense. Happy twists his weapon, eliciting a full-throated "Arr!" from the tormented Iron Giant. Not giving an inch, Happy follows up with a powerful kick, sending the giant stumbling sideways. The giant's visible eye reflects pure disbelief. This comeback is rewriting his entire battle plan. Capitalizing on the opening, Happy swings his weapon again, a blur of motion aimed at the reeling knight. The attack lands true, the giant clutching his side and spitting out a furious, "You son of a..." Happy's assault continues with a well-aimed kick, buckling the giant's leg and composure. In a flash, Happy grabs the giant's helmet, his expression one of chilling determination. Next, he slams the armored titan face first into the dirt with surprising strength. Happy doesn't let up, delivering a decisive stomp to the downed and disoriented giant. Pinned and pummeled, the Iron Giant can only shriek, completely at Happy's mercy now. Happy yanks the giant's head back, the knight letting out a choked gasp. The giant's helmet is askew, revealing a battered face and utter shock from the relentless assault. Happy's grip on his weapon tightens, a silent promise of more punishment to come. Towering over his foe, Happy pauses, the downed giant looking up in dazed confusion. The Iron Giant can only pant, his breath ragged, the fight knocked out of him. With a cheerful grin, Happy observes, "You've got a lot of scratches." Sheer disbelief and exhaustion etch themselves deeper onto the giant's face as he gasps for air. Desperation fuels the giant as his gauntlet scrabbles, searching for any way to counter. Miraculously, the giant raises his shield, deflecting Happy's incoming strike at the last second. Though still on the defensive, the Iron Giant glares, panting heavily behind his makeshift bulwark. Happy, unfazed by the shield, cracks a confident smile, his fist clenched for the next round. From his hiding spot, William observes the sudden pause, noting, both have stopped attacking. William muses that the giant's once imposing armor now seems like a heavy, stamina-sapping burden. Yet William worries Happy's fierce onslaught isn't doing enough, questioning if his physique limits his power against the armor. The Iron Giant, meanwhile, plants his shield firmly, digging in for a defensive stand. "I just need to avoid falling," the giant grits out, determined to weather Happy's storm. He's figured it out. Happy's targeting his unarmored head, the only way to inflict real harm. Happy glances back at a panicking William, who's contemplating a tactical retreat from the escalating danger. "William?" Happy calls out, his voice calm amidst the tension, getting the young man's attention. Happy then offers a surprisingly sincere thanks for William's earlier protection, but firmly adds, "But don't do it again." Happy reveals, "You're the only person who has ever called me a friend," his concern for William genuine. William, still concealed, processes Happy's heartfelt admission in stunned silence. Turning to the giant, Happy vows to William, "I'll show you here so you can believe in me for sure." Happy's hand reaches down, plucking a discarded sharp implement from the battlefield debris. The Iron Giant, shield still raised, watches Happy's move with a puzzled expression. With a chilling grin and glowing eyes, Happy brandishes the makeshift shiv, declaring, "I'll show you my full power now." The giant scoffs from behind his defense. "Is a broken spear shaft all you could come up with?" Surveying the littered battlefield, the giant boasts, "All the weapons here were broken against my armor and shield." He taunts further, "And now you're trying to pierce me with an already broken spear shaft?" Happy grips his new, jagged weapon tighter, his unsettling smile suggesting he knows something the giant doesn't. Happy presents his makeshift shiv, its jagged point gleaming with deadly intent. The Iron Giant stares, utterly bewildered by this seemingly insignificant threat. Happy's first thrust with the spear shaft is parried, glancing off the giant's shield. "What are you—" The giant begins to mock, still confident behind his defense. Suddenly, the giant's visible eye flares wide with dawning, horrified understanding. Dust explodes from the ground as Happy moves with utterly imperceptible speed. He's inside the giant's guard, the spear fragment driven deep into a gap in the armor. The knight's face contorts in pure, unadulterated shock at this impossible breach. How? The giant stammers, feeling the sharp point pierce his defenses. In a blinding flash, Happy uses his leverage, twisting the colossal knight off balance. The iron giant's eye widens in agony, the unexpected attack hitting its mark. Pure, unadulterated shock ripples through the colossal knight as the shiv finds purchase. His massive sword clangs uselessly to the ground, the giant disarmed and reeling. Happy presses his advantage, the giant letting out a guttural roar of torment. With a hand over the giant's face, Happy's eyes blaze with an almost demonic intensity. Happy whispers a chilling warning. The more you move, the deeper the pain will be. The once mighty giant can only pant, his battered face a mask of sweat and suffering. Happy applies more pressure, the giant's teeth grinding against the unbearable sensation. Looking down at his broken foe, Happy delivers a simple, final command. Give up. The iron giant trembles, completely overwhelmed by Happy's relentless and brutal efficiency. Happy's hand clenches decisively, the giant's consciousness rapidly fading under the pressure. The colossal knight finally goes limp, his massive form slumping forward in utter defeat. With a powerful shove, Happy sends the unconscious giant tumbling dismissively to the ground. William stares, aghast, his mind reeling. This defies common sense. Is this Happy's full power? Happy turns from his fallen foe, his hand marked by the encounter, now facing a stunned William. A wide, almost unnerving smile spreads across Happy's face as he looks towards his friend. William can only gulp, a bead of sweat tracing his temple at the overwhelming display. Happy's bright, intense eyes lock onto William, a silent moment passing between them. He's not dead, Happy cheerfully clarifies to a shocked William. He just passed out from the pain. Surveying the field of fallen knights, Happy casually remarks, "It's not very good, is it? This isn't a proper match." Happy, with a marked hand, tells William, "My former master hated fights like this too." William, beaming, insists, "No, it was a really amazing match. Besides, we caught a dangerous criminal." With a thumbs up, William declares, "Like you said, I don't need to worry about you in a fight at all. I'll trust you completely now." Happy cracks a wide, innocent smile, simply replying, "Sure!" As William turns, Happy, already by his basket, asks, "So we're done here? Oh, shall we go right away?" "No, I haven't slept for days, so I'll sleep a little here," Happy announces, plopping down, leaving William to exclaim, "Here?" Happy, already dozing off, murmurs, "I was actually very sleepy even while fighting. Please take care of the cleanup." William stares, a single question mark popping into his mind at this sudden turn of events. Peeking down, William confirms with disbelief, "He really fell asleep?" William, surrounded by the aftermath, wonders, "What should I do? Should I leave him here and go report this?" William's eyes dart around, a sudden realization dawning on his face. His gaze falls upon the discarded spear shaft, now lying innocently on the battlefield. William cautiously picks up the makeshift weapon, its tip bearing telltale marks. Wait, he ponders, if the spear was a feint, what did Happy actually use? He glances at the unconscious giant, a new question forming. Is the real weapon still lodged in him? A beat of silence passes as William connects the dots, his expression shifting. With a grunt, William strains, attempting to retrieve something from a gap in the giant's armor. "Gyah!" he exclaims, finally yanking free a different, sleeker blade. "This guy's a ton. How did Happy even manage?" Clutching the newly discovered weapon, William sweats, deciding, "Right, I need to report this, fast." Just as he resolves to leave, a troop of torch-bearing knights emerges from the shadowy woods. William, clutching the hidden blade, is utterly baffled by the sudden appearance of more knights. The torch-bearing troop stares, equally confused by the chaotic scene before them. Their grizzled leader steps forward, his sharp eyes surveying the battlefield with a questioning gaze. His attention is drawn to the fallen iron giant, specifically the fresh mark of a precise strike. The veteran knight's eyes narrow, focusing intently on the details of the takedown. All eyes seem to fix on the sleek weapon in William's trembling hand, now highlighted ominously. Suddenly, one of the arriving knights points an accusatory finger, shouting, "You caught the wanted criminal!" William's jaw drops, his mind reeling from this completely unexpected accusation. The knight explains his unit was nearly wiped out, and he'd seen William with a wanted poster earlier. "So you were a bounty hunter after all," the knight exclaims, a triumphant grin on his face. The knight leader demands, "What is your name?" As William stammers, "I'm William, but this..." "William," another knight exclaims, "could you be that university student who recently caught the exile clown group?" The knights buzz. "He won with a broken spear shaft? His fighting skills are amazing, just as rumored." Rumors? William asks, sweating, as the leader confirms, yes, there are some rumors in the night order. A flashback reveals the rumor. William, the university student bounty hunter, calling the exile clowns, my snack, haha. William recoils in horror, clutching the blade. Such rumors are spreading? The leader reassures him. From now on, please leave the scene and this guy's bounty processing to us, as Happy snoozes nearby. Let's go. I'll escort you to the edge of the forest, the leader offers, leading a bewildered William away. The grizzled leader glances back. Oh my. It seems the porter got caught up in the fight too, spotting the sleeping Happy. A subordinate knight asks, Captain, what's wrong? As the leader stares intently, a thoughtful expression on his face. The captain scrutinizes the spear. This isn't a stab wound. No blood on the tip, just splatter. He surveys the scattered weapons, declaring, none of these blades actually pierced him. The captain's brow furrows. Then what exactly was he struck with? His gaze then falls upon Happy's sleeping form, specifically his deeply marked and discolored hand. As a knight carries the snoozing Happy, the captain remarks, the porter seems badly injured, but William clarifies, yes, he's just sleeping. The captain, now holding the sleek blade, muses, William, huh? A student who caught the exile clowns alone? Full of inconsistencies. A flashback reveals the defeated exile clowns, bound and kneeling before a shadowy figure. One of the clowns, battered and terrified, stares up in utter despair. Their scarred leader, clutching a small dagger, defiantly states, we've been abandoned once. We swore not to run again. He continues, his voice laced with bitterness. But you knelt to nobles and suffered defeat by a mere student. The flashback continues. The battered exile clown leader, utterly broken, stammers, I'm sorry. His crew is swiftly dispatched by an unseen force, leaving him kneeling amidst the chaos. Such shame is enough once, he mutters, clutching his dagger, a spark of defiance in his defeat. He proclaims their creed, remember we are exile clowns who fight the kingdom until death. A haunting image reveals a legion of cloaked figures with glowing red eyes, the true face of the clown's rebellion. Cutting from the past, a steely-eyed woman asks her associate, so, did you find out who that guy is? She confirms, I did. He's William, a skilled hobbyist bounty hunter, according to the lists. Her companion declares ominously, then our next target is William, as a grim scene unfolds behind them. Dark water gushes from sewer grates, one disturbingly stained, hinting at their brutal efficiency. Meanwhile, a sophisticated man sips tea, coolly inquiring, so which noble family does this student belong to? His son fumes, that bastard bought his way in! This bounty hunting must be a sham too! The sophisticated man raises an eyebrow, a chillingly calm, is that so, on his lips. He then hands his son a mysterious scroll. Then you can personally show him what happens when someone shames us. What is this, father? The son stammers, eyeing the brigand's covenant with its unsettling terms. It's an armed group our family uses for delicate matters, the father coolly explains. Consider this an early lesson. With a steely gaze, he orders, tell them to find William at this address and take care of him. Meanwhile, in a sun-drenched town, a young woman strolls peacefully carrying a basket of fresh apples. Suddenly, her eyes widen in alarm, a silent question mark hanging in the air as she senses trouble. The idyllic scene shatters as two figures lie fallen, a lone green apple rolling away from the chaos. An unsettling quiet descends upon the once peaceful village, now hinting at a grim turn of events. An old gravedigger and his apprentice survey a grim morning's work. 3 bodies discovered on the kingdom's streets. The apprentice questions the lack of an autopsy, suspecting the case was hastily closed despite clear signs of foul play. The old gravedigger, Sagaru, sighs, clearly troubled by his apprentice's persistent curiosity. Sagaru reminds him how his sense of justice nearly got them imprisoned after the arena incident. They were just clowns, Sagaru mutters, digging. No one mourns them, most will cheer their demise. The apprentice, unconvinced, glances back, a seed of doubt firmly planted in his mind. His eyes narrow. Something else about this situation just doesn't sit right with him. He recalls the bodies bore old bruises, inflicted days before their final moments. These markings eerily resembled those on the victims from the recent arena incident, a disturbing pattern emerging. Suddenly, a cheerful young woman arrives, calling out to Grandpa Shovel, oblivious to the grim undertones. The cheerful young woman, Winnie, arrives with a bag announcing, I've brought all the herbs you asked for. Sagaru, the old gravedigger, greets her warmly. Ah, Winnie, you've worked hard. Is that old man of yours still kicking? He's so carefree, I swear I'll croak before he does. Sagaru grumbles, as Winnie just laughs it off. Winnie then glances back, a slight floating above her head as she notices something. Spotting the apprentice, Winnie beams, Hello to you too, Sagaru's apprentice. The apprentice, still looking a bit grim, offers a polite, yes, hello? I brought some herbs for you too, Sagaru's apprentice. I'll just leave them here, Winnie says, much to his surprise. Seeing his reaction, Winnie tilts her head. Why? You don't want them? The apprentice stammers. No, I'm always grateful. Thank you, as Winnie gives a kind smile. Sagaru sighs. Winnie, you're too nice for your own good. You should be charging for these things. Winnie, ever so sweet, explains. He helps Grandpa shovel so much, of course I'd look out for him too. She then remarks to Sagaru, previous assistants barely lasted a week, but this one's been here over a month. You must actually like him. Sagaru grumbles. He's a good worker, sure, but clueless and always sneaking off at night. Winnie hesitates, a thoughtful ah escaping her lips, catching Sagaru's attention. What is it? Sagaru presses, sensing her unease. Winnie leans in, her voice dropping. Actually, at our place, we also... What? Sagaru exclaims, shocked. You took in an indentured servant? Winnie confides, yes, but he's suspicious. Always out at night, and a mysterious stash of coins under his bedding. Her brow furrows. And what truly bothers me is that he's a former arena fighter. I just hope, Winnie whispers, he's not caught up in something dangerous. The apprentice reveals the city's only arena recently vanished, and its fighters were all taken care of. Winnie, shocked, blurts out, What? But I'm sure he was an arena fighter. He elaborates, those arena fighters were all either prisoners or notorious criminals. If a nameless, familyless criminal survived, he continues, it's because they had serious backing. The apprentice adds grimly, backing so strong even the king's orders couldn't touch them. He then warns Winnie, your grandmother might have brought a very dangerous person into your home. Winnie, now truly concerned, asks, could you look into it? I'll find his papers tonight and come back tomorrow. As Winnie departs, a sense of unease lingers between Sagaru and his apprentice. Sagaru glares. I'm telling you, apprentice, stick your nose everywhere and you'll meet a blade before the truth. The apprentice, clutching Winnie's herbs, simply states, I just hope there are still good people left in this world. The apprentice clutches the herbs, his sincerity hanging in the air like their fragrant scent. Night descends, blanketing the kingdom in shadows and secrets. Under the crescent moon, William arrives, carrying an injured and unconscious boy he calls Happy. Happy sleeps deeply, oblivious to the world, a trail of drool marking his exhaustion. William gazes at the boy, noting he must have endured sleepless nights to be so utterly spent. He carries Happy towards a lone house, its windows faintly glowing in the darkness. William reaches the door, a polite, is anyone home? Hoping for a safe haven. Inside, Winnie and her grandparents are startled as William enters, Happy still on his back, near papers detailing slave ownership. Winnie and her grandmother gasp, their eyes fixed on Happy's injured hand and disheveled state. Oh my, what happened? The grandmother cries as William insists, he just fainted, please don't misunderstand. Inside, a warm fire crackles, a stark contrast to the chilling tale about to unfold. Winnie, astonished, asks William, you two were bounty hunting together every night? William, a bit hesitant, begins, yes, it all started like this. As Happy sleeps soundly nearby, William recounts everything he knows about the boy's troubled past. He reveals Happy spent his entire life in the brutal arena, suffering from facial nerve damage. Flashbacks show the intense hardships Happy endured, shaping his unusual demeanor. William explains the constant torment left Happy unable to sleep, forcing him into a life of conflict. William meticulously lays out Happy's complex history, leaving no stone unturned for the concerned family. Hearing the heartbreaking story, Winnie's grandmother can't hold back her tears. The grandfather, meanwhile, listens in stoic silence, his expression unreadable. Winnie's long-held suspicions about Happy finally begin to melt away. William concludes his tale, revealing Happy as his unlikely savior, leaving the family in stunned silence. After a polite bow, William departs into the night, leaving them to process the shocking revelations. The damning slave ownership papers bearing Happy's name lie starkly by the flickering firelight. Happy's usual sleeping quarters, a simple, almost barren space, hint at his difficult past. Dawn breaks over the quiet farmhouse, signaling a new day and perhaps a new understanding. Miraculously, Happy awakens looking bright-eyed and surprisingly cheerful, a stark contrast to his ordeal. His innocent, wide eyes sparkle, holding no trace of the horrors he's endured. Winnie approaches the still beaming Happy, a gentle question forming on her lips. Why? Winnie asks softly. Didn't you tell us about the pain that kept you from sleeping and forced you to work? Happy, still in bed, offers a wide, toothy grin, a silent, hanging in the air. Winnie looks down, her voice laced with regret. Why didn't you tell us? We kept misunderstanding you. He explains with chilling simplicity. If I'm useless, I'll be discarded. That's how it was in the arena. Winnie clenches her fist. You silly boy, this isn't the arena. We don't see you as just a slave. A reflection shows the grandmother's caring gaze. Winnie adds, Grandma already sees you as family. Winnie stands over him, vowing, I'll make sure you're healed, so no more fighting, understand? She continues, her resolve firm. Our family will help you live a normal life, as Happy listens, speechless. Winnie extends a hand towards him, declaring, I didn't become an herbalist for nothing, you know. With a confident smile, she urges, Trust me, I promise I'll heal you. Hope flickers in Happy's wide eyes as he looks up at Winnie's outstretched hand. Happy, beaming, takes Winnie's offered hand, simply saying, Yes. His eyes, wide and innocent, fix on her hand as a mischievous thought seems to spark. Oh, this, Happy exclaims. I bought it with my first earnings. Winnie, puzzled, asks, What is it? Before she can react, Happy smoothly slips a sparkling ring onto her finger. Winnie absolutely loses it, stammering, What do you think you're doing? Oblivious, Happy just grins wider, innocently asking, Why? As Winnie stares at her newly adorned hand. Why? Winnie practically shrieks, flustered beyond belief. This is a wedding ring, you goof! Happy, bless his heart, tilts his head. A what now? Leaving Winnie to splutter. Well, just then, Grandpa enters, holding a hefty bag. Happy, your friend William dropped off the bounty money this morning. Happy, still grinning, tells his grandfather, You can have it all. I'm not fighting anymore. She's going to heal me. Grandpa pulls Happy into a fierce hug, declaring, That's right, our grandson, our lucky charm. Still embracing the boy, Grandpa assures a teary-eyed Winnie, All right then, Grandpa will put this money to good use. Winnie watches the heartwarming scene, a soft, understanding smile gracing her lips. The grandmother appears, her hands clasped, a gentle, knowing look on her face. Winnie lowers her gaze, a profound realization dawning on her. She reflects, Now I finally get why Grandma called Happy this child when she first brought him home. Beaming, Happy presents rings to his equally stunned grandparents, exclaiming, Grandma, Grandpa, presents! Pure innocence shines from him. A note from Winnie to Segal appears. The misunderstanding is cleared. No need to investigate further. Have a good day. William, lounging on a rooftop, reads Winnie's note with a contemplative silence. Suddenly, a well-dressed young man approaches William, offering, I said I'm sorry, let's go get something to eat, William, thoroughly unimpressed, retorts, Aren't we less than strangers now? Just go your own way. The well-dressed man dramatically drops to his knees, begging, Please, I'm truly sorry, just one chance to earn your forgiveness. William stares down, a silent, betraying his surprise at this sudden, desperate plea. All right, get up, William concedes. Forget the meal, but we can talk for a bit. As they walk off, the young man murmurs, Thank you, while an older man on a bench observes their departure. The onlooker watches them go, thinking with disdain, What a truly pathetic performance. His companion dabs at feigned tears, prompting William to mutter, You absolute deceiver. William eyes him with clear suspicion as the man insists, I'm sorry. This time I'm truly sincere. A question mark hanging over the claim. In a shocking turn, the apology becomes an attack as the young man violently shoves William off the edge. William plummets downwards, a stunning act of treachery sending him crashing towards the ground. William meets the ground with a brutal thud, the betrayal chillingly complete. He's down, but not quite out, shock warring with agony on his face. Suddenly, 3 shadowy figures scoop up the dazed William, their intentions unclear. Who are you? William manages, his voice raspy and weak. Oblivious to William's dire predicament, Winnie steps out from a nearby building as a man in red approaches. He's then roughly tossed into a dim, unfamiliar room by his new captors. Sprawled on the floor, pain etched deep, William gasps out a single desperate why. One of the brutes looms over him, fist raised, ready to deliver another harsh lesson. The menacing fist pauses midair, a silent question hanging heavy over the brutal scene. Enough, William pleads weakly, his battered face a testament to their cruelty. Dragged away by his captors, William's fate hangs precariously in the balance, the well-dressed man overseeing the grim procession. His bloodied hand scrapes against the grimy floor, a stark testament to the brutal betrayal. Gasping for air, William's battered face reveals the depth of his suffering and confusion. The well-dressed man sneers, You cur, I've despised you from the very beginning. What did I even do wrong? William whispers, only to be told he's the one at fault. Still defiant, he demands, Why are you so displeased with me? Wasn't framing me enough? His tormentor lands a vicious kick, roaring, You insolent fool, daring to overstep your bounds. Catching his breath, the attacker mocks, Did you truly believe mere hard work would earn you respect? Grabbing William's face, he spits, "There's no fairness here, idiot. You should have been born to power." The villain twists the knife. "Don't you think even your schoolmates detest you?" The tormentor sneers, "Who'd like a nobody like you, constantly trying to climb up?" He coldly adds, "Everyone will rejoice when they hear you're gone, you pathetic loser." With utter disdain, the villain prepares to add insult to injury. He then spits contemptuously towards the fallen William. "In your next life," the villain scoffs, "learn to grovel before you learn to hold a pen." William, utterly broken, can only hang his head in silent despair. Turning to his thugs, the villain commands, "Take care of him, I'll be outside." His brutes acknowledge the order with a grim, "Yes, master." The well-dressed man then strides out, the heavy door slamming shut behind him. A final, chilling look from the villain seals William's grim, immediate future. The villain grips his own hand, muttering, "Damn, this is nothing to me." He smirks, convinced, "This is authority, this is power, it's only natural." Unseen, Seagal watches from a rooftop as the villain strolls away from the scene. Seagal narrows his eyes, realizing, those thugs, they're not just bullies, they're hired killers. Disgust etches Seagal's face as he thinks, the methods of these nobles are truly vile. He lets out a slow breath, contemplating the grim reality unfolding below. A glint of determination in his eyes, Seagal muses, "I always knew I'd have to deal with those brigands eventually." Drawing twin daggers, he rises, "I just didn't expect eventually to be today." With a decisive step, Seagal sets off, a silent hunter on the move. He leaps into action, a shadowy figure determined to intervene. Seagal's keen eye spots the villain's exit, a silent question forming. With breathtaking speed, Seagal launches himself towards the building, a blur of motion. He lands inside, a grim expression on his face, wondering who just vanished into the structure. Inside, one thug scoffs over William. "Thought he was tough, turns out he's just a kid, how dull." Another goon looms over William, promising, "Our boss wants this to be slow and agonizing for you." William, battered, thinks desperately, "All my hard work on for this?" He grits his teeth, remembering every struggle that brought him to this cruel moment. To perish like this, William despairs, all because a noble felt slighted. As William struggles, a thug taunts, "What's wrong? At least put up a fight before you go." Defiant even now, William thinks, "This wasn't my destiny. I was meant to bring change." William, utterly defeated, realizes that even noble ideals require status, as a small, shadowy figure observes him. The mysterious, childlike observer with glowing eyes whispers an apology, pleading, "Don't look at me like that." Suddenly, a formidable woman yanks William's hair, demanding, "Are you William?" as the thugs stare, stunned. The bewildered goons exclaim, "Who is this woman? Where did she even come from?" She delivers a sharp wake-up call to William, trying to snap him out of his despair. The newcomer scoffs, doubting a battered boy like him could have dealt with 5 of their exiled clowns. She reveals she heard 2 were involved in a past incident, initially suspecting the bounty reporter, not the victim. Now seated, she quizzes William about his supposed accomplice, asking if he was one of these exiled clowns. One of the original thugs, fed up with the intrusion, raises his sword with menacing intent. The goons angrily threaten the newcomers, warning them to disappear or face deadly consequences. That sword-happy thug? He meets the business end of the woman's incredibly persuasive kick. Not to be outdone, Seagal makes his grand entrance, turning the remaining goons into yesterday's news with a flash of steel. William, meanwhile, just tries to remember how to breathe as his world turns upside down. Again, the woman gives William a once-over, smirking, "My, you're a spirited little thing. Almost makes me want to put you on display." Her eyes dart around, taking in Seagal's handiwork with a flicker of appreciation or just calculation. Seagal, ever the cool professional, meets her gaze over the now very quiet thugs. A thoughtful from the lady, clearly unexpected backup wasn't on her bingo card. She turns back to William, all business. "All right, Junior, now that the party crashers are gone, let's talk." From the shadows, our man Seagal mulls over the million-dollar question. Who exactly is this kid? Realizing this particular drama is way above his pay grade, Seagal decides it's prime time for a tactical vanishing act. The woman gets uncomfortably close, demanding, "So, who was with our young master back then?" She presses a blade to William's throat, urging, "Spill it, kid, and make it snappy." Her eyes gleam with deadly intent, a silent promise that his neck is on the line. William recalls the childlike figure, happy, thanking him for protection but warning him against future recklessness. Happy's voice echoes in his mind. "You're my only friend. I'd be devastated if you got hurt." Overwhelmed, William's thoughts scream apologies to Happy Face as tears stream down his face. Broken, William confesses. Happy, a former fighting arena slave. From the shadows, Seagal absorbs this new intel. Happy now lives on a farm. A memory surfaces of Happy, deciding to quit bounty hunting and tell William. Happy, in that same memory, crafts a small doll, a gift for my friend William.